Alright. Things should be set up. I don't expect people to trickle in for another minute or two, but, alrighty. Thank you, Miss Spade, for the 9 months. Saying 9 months ago, Burr. I appreciate it. Alright. I'm waiting for some people to start trickling in, but, This is gonna be something a little bit different than the usual Tuesday stream, which would normally be a race against Tatsu, but Tatsu's taking a week off from streaming on Twitch. He's feeling a little bit of burnout after doing all of the compilation of FF7, which is fair. I cannot blame him for it. But, I figured. I like doing Rando. And I was trying to help some friends get Rando set up over the past couple nights. So I figured, hey, I've been playing Rando for, like, 8 months. Rando's been out for, like, 8 months. Let that sink in. The passage of time is a mess. So I thought, why don't I, with all of the wisdom and experience that I've accrued over these past 8 or 9 months, go ahead and try to teach people how to play some fucking Rando. This isn't going to be anything to set up Rando, because there's plenty of guides for that already. If you go to the KH2 Rando Discord, there's a lot of stuff with it that, like, people cannot strictly help you. You have to Google a lot of stuff, but there's tutorials for setting it up. It's just a matter of, you know, taking an afternoon or asking a friend for help, specifically if you're having trouble. But I figured I would just run through a seed. This is going to be a crit mode seed. This is going to be a seed with all the usual nonsense. But I'm going to pause, explain a lot more of what I'm doing. I'm gonna do my best to answer questions that people might have midway. And I don't expect to finish this seed, but I have the spoiler logs open just in case. In case people want me to finish the seed and, like, go through everything that I'm doing. Well, not everything, but, like, as much as I can. And then eventually I might bring in people, do one-on-one sessions, coach them through a rando, maybe. It would be a matter of setting that up logistically and getting things scheduled out. Hey, Mel. Oh, shit. But yeah, also, if you weren't aware, I have added a new emote to my set. For the mere price of 1,000 bits, you can own a baby dragon emote. This is the same one that I use in my Discord. It was drawn by Shora, who is way too fucking talented. Because we have to do a dual stream again at some point, but since Carl has come down with the big illness, that probably won't be happening for a bit. We've pushed back Millennium Mike recording a week so he can recover fully and all that good stuff. And it's gonna be a bit. This morning was hell, 3-hour fucking class after no sleep, and Tatsu just going, okay, but 1 billion lions. Yeah, that sounds like a fucking nightmare, actually, Mel. Because I hadn't even gone to bed and this man was still awake, debating the 1 billion lions versus, every Pokemon. The absolute buffoonery. I wanted to cry. I kind of did too. I'll be honest with you. But yeah, if people have any questions about what I'm doing, feel free to just bring it up. Feel free to ask away. If you want me to coach you through a run at some point, I can set that up. And Thursday we're probably going to be doing more Ghost Trick. I want to try to power through the end of that so I can get to the World Ends with You and have some of that up for other people who might want to know the story before the anime comes out but might not want to play it themselves. Hey, Tao. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and start. And as I'm going through, I'll explain what I'm doing in detail and why. Oh. Started my timer a little late there, but that's fine. Alright. So, for starters, normally what you pick doesn't really matter if you're doing an individual rando seed, but for the sake of a race, you want to pick the same thing as somebody else. I started with a proof. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. This is a tutorial seed, and I started with a fucking proof. Oh, good lord. Most rando runs are just going to be glass cannon mage, which means low defense, high magic, like a medium attack stat. Maybe you have a high one if you're lucky. Maybe. But other than that, no magic, no items, just proof. We're just gonna go with sword, because that's what I'm used to now. And once we load in, we're gonna pick up the left chest, then move right from there, just because I actually don't know if it's more efficient, but it feels more efficient. Since you have to hit the monitor anyway, and both of the other chests are on the right side, you can just walk your way over and then go talk to the Mughal to see if he has a Donald or Goofy weapon, potentially with a limit. He does not this time, so we're just gonna move out. But, we started off with a report that Holla Bastion has 8. Now, Holla Bastion and Twilight Town are usually the big ones, where you'll have, like, 5 to sometimes 10 or 11 checks in either. Or both, sometimes. Combo plus on Kingdom Key is pretty... It's not ideal. But we'll deal with it for now, because we literally don't have anything else. Now, it probably goes too fast for most people to, like, process initially, but whenever I start rando, I always take the items off of Donald and Goofy so that I have more items for myself later, so that I don't have to buy as many for, like, the final gauntlet, or even just for Zigbar if I want to give them potions, because they are very bad at using their shit effectively. Okay, so we started with Comet, I believe, on Donald. That's pretty good. Donald also has Cure, which we can put on. We'll put Protectra on Goofy, because that means he'll take less damage for every hit. We have a defense boost. I'll chug that now. And, yeah. I usually do the customized stuff, no matter what, because when you put Donald and Goofy on party attack, they will attack enemies that you're not focusing, which is the ideal strat for the Pride Lands fight, and just in general. If you're fighting an enemy and you're in rando crit, where you can die in a couple of hits, you want Donald and Goofy to be doing something else so that they don't fuck up your strat. I'm gonna go ahead and try Pride Lands, because Pride Lands is the best opening play if you can do it consistently, which it's never going to be 100% consistent. It comes down to how lucky you get with Donald and Goofy not dying. But, with rando, the level scaling on enemies and the experience gain you get is based on where the worlds are in the normal game. Since Pride Lands is the last world you visit in the first set, Pride Lands has enemies that give you the most XP. And every single chest in the world is locked behind one single force fight. After that, you don't have to fight a single fucking enemy. So we're gonna go fight these clowns. I'm gonna try to explain what exactly you have to do. So, You're in a small room with two beefy fucks, and they say, hey, I'm gonna eat you. You have two options to force the rodeo reaction command. You either hold your left analog stick up and to the left, ever so slightly, so you can get the reaction command immediately. I'm gonna try it now, and if it fails, we'll do the second way. Okay. There we go. You have to be mashing that shit. And then you want to attack the one that still has a head. There is a way to lock onto it while you're in the middle of doing rodeo, but I am not entirely sure how that works. So once this guy lands, you hit circle to jump, you hit X once to get a hit off, and then you mash square, because Lion Sora has a move that acts similarly to horizontal slash, and it is automatically equipped on Lion Sora. So to avoid him being on the ground and able to hit you at all or break out of your combo, you just jump, mash square until Sora's attacks finish, land on the ground, jump, X, square, repeat until he's dead. Then you go for the other guy, who Donald and Goofy should be distracting right now because we have them set on party attack, and who should not be able to do half of the shit that this guy can because he now has no head. So, that was unfortunate, because normally that goes for a lot longer. See, Donald and Goofy have kept this guy distracted, lowered his health a little bit, and made it easier for me to just come in and snipe that kill. Oh, there we go. One hit away. Alright. So now we're level 5. We're on 1.5 times XP gain, so that's pretty good. This area has a few chests. The big one that you don't want to miss is this one behind you. Then you go forward just so from where you ended the fight, and you have one. You climb up and around here to grab this chest right here. You fall off the ledge, grab that, and then on your way out you grab this one by the door. And now you just run to Pride Rock because it's directly in front of you. It's a fairly recognizable landmark. The thing with Rando that is going to be intimidating to a lot of people is memorizing both the chest locations and the immediate next location for plot progression. Because I'm one of those people who played vanilla KH2 at least like 3 times a year for like 6 years. It was dire. So, I know where all this shit is instinctively. Most people will not. We have scan on Sleeping Lion, and Sleeping Lion's actually good. We're just gonna throw that on real quick. We're just gonna toss that on. We're gonna turn on aerial dodge. Auto limit's pretty good. Some people like having combo pluses. I personally don't. But I guess if you don't have Berserk Charge and you want to get more horizontal slashes off, that might be an ideal thing. This comes down to individual preference. Like, the abilities you want equipped, you usually want to have movement on. But action and support abilities, that comes down to your personal preference a lot of the time. There's certain bosses where you're going to want to have certain things turned on or off, but that's its own issue, and we'll get to that. Now we have to run to Wildebeest Valley, which is to the left here. You just weave between the trees and it's a straight line, don't worry about it. In Rando, Lion Sora has his Tokyo Drift from the start, because normally you would get it in the cutscene here. Rando, thank God, has a lot of quality of life changes, like giving Sora the dash from the start. There are 5 chests in this valley. We're gonna pick up the first one over here, the second one to the right. The third one is tricky because they hide it behind a rock, so you miss it on your first go-through. Then the fourth over here, and the last one by the tree where, fun fact, this right here, this tree, this is where Simba was hanging in the cutscene, trying not to get trampled. The KH2 devs really have a fucked up sense of humor with that. There are 3 chests in here. It's going to be the first left turn after you come in. Second chest is going to be on the right wall, right along here. And then the third chest is right by the exit. Three chests in this room. You have the one down here. You got the one right up here. Now this one. This last chest in this room is tricky. Because as soon as you approach it, you get assaulted. But if you just hit that guy, if you hit the big guy, he's stunned long enough for you to grab the chest and book it if you were holding square and Tokyo drifting. Now we pick up the 3 chests in the Oasis, which will be this, which is a cure, which... Cure is nice for the Berserk Charge strats because it drains your MP fast, but it's not super important. Once you pick up the 3 chests, you leave. That triggers the cutscene with Simba and Nala. And then once you talk to Simba, he gives you the last immediate check before you would have to do the hyena fight in Pride Rock, which we are not doing. We are leaving right now. And with that, we've picked up every single chest in the Pride Lands. All of them. We didn't pick up any accessories, did we? No. Okay. Every time we pass it, Simba's PTSD spikes. Yeah. Pretty much. Pride Lands is not the opening play that you have to do. It's a good opener because you get a lot of XP from very few enemies, and you get every single check in the world from one forced fight. But another good opener that you can do if you so choose is Halloween Town. Because most of what you want out of opening plays is to get the most things in the least amount of time. It feels very self-explanatory, but it also comes down to how much movement you have. Because, like, Pride Lands, you start with a drift. You're going to be moving fast across the world, even if it is just vast and empty. Halloween Town, you see how I'm having to walk everywhere? That's, not so bueno. Having glide helps. Having a quick run helps. With worlds like Twilight Town and worlds like Holla Bastion, I like to usually have at least a glide, if not, like, a level 2 quick run. Just because I enjoy getting through early worlds where there's just a lot of walking with very minimal time loss. Jack is going to have all his stuff. Another thing with Rando is that for every world-specific party member, auto-limit is turned off. In the base game, auto-limit's turned on by default. But here, they purposely turn it off so you never have to worry about accidentally wasting your entire MP bar on, like, a dance call or something. But speaking of dance call, that's what we're gonna do here. If Halloween Town is your opening play, then you can use dance call in this initial fight, get all the White Knights immediately, get yourself a couple of levels since Halloween Town is one of the last 3 worlds in the first visit set. And it gives you a good chunk of XP, and once you're done with that first part, big question, do you plan on highlighting this for referring to after the stream? I can highlight the VOD, but I'm also gonna re-upload it to my YouTube, so it will be up there for sure, if nothing else.
That's how it's done.
Because, like, I want this to be a good reference point for people who are wondering how you get into Rando, like, how you can chip away at some of the things that make people intimidated by it. That works too, thank you. No problem. Also, thank you for the follow. If Halloween Town is your first play, you can do the dance call here and then get some free levels. If Halloween Town is not your first play, like me, because I'm already level 5, I don't necessarily need the extra levels here. What you can do is you can force an L. There are certain forced fights in this game where you do not have to win. That Pride Lands one, if you lose, you go to the continue screen and you have to redo it and walk back like a chump. But here, you're gonna notice I'm gonna walk forward and they're going to kill me and the game will let me progress. There are certain places where you can do this, but it's not everywhere. If Jack wouldn't be hitting these bastards, I might be able to actually get the L forced. There we go. Okay. Now, obviously, because I'm doing a crit run, that is much faster. If you're doing a seed on something like beginner, that might not be the optimal strat. Because Jack and Donald, or Jack and Goofy, whoever you have in your party, are going to be doing much more damage to the enemies, killing them faster, and you might just want to beat them immediately. Or they don't do enough damage to you because you have some defenders or damage controls. Mal, you said Paris Green in the middle of a stream that both Tatsu and I were doing. Of course it's a thing on both of our ends. Literally, it's in the thumbnail of that race VOD. Okay, you get the 3 chests in the forest. You have to remember to get the one in Finkelstein's lab, because that's the only time you're forced to visit Finkelstein's lab. If you don't pick that up, then you're going to regret, and it's going to be a massive waste of time to walk over.
Here it is.
You enter Christmas Town, and now, if you have a money pouch, or if you have any kind of money, this is where you talk to the Mughal and go buy some fucking ethers. Unfortunately, I do not have money, but I have 3 ethers. So the strat for this next room is very simple. We dance call. But it's a very specific pattern. You enter the room, and the enemies are going to be 3 of the little soldier guys who drill into the ground, and 1 big jack-in-the-box. The jack-in-the-boxes are bastards, we hate them, and we want to kill them without taking any damage, because they can one-shot us at this point. Whether it's your opener or your third world, they can kill you in a couple hits if you're not careful. So immediately, if you've menued correctly, you should just be able to go up XX and hit dance call. And then you just walk forward into these guys, let Jack and Sora spin for a couple seconds to get some damage in, and then you hit X for downbeat. I fucked that up because I didn't do a finale, but finale is a big time waster, so ideally you don't want to have to do it a lot. Now this is where the ethers come in handy. The ether that you stole from Donald at the start, the ether that you took from Simba, or the ethers that you took from Jack. You want to have at least 2 equipped, because we refill our MP bar and then go back into, Okay, this is fine. The other big rule of Rando is learn to improvise or you're fucked. So we can improvise with this comet. We messed that up because Donald started with comet and I'm not used to menuing around Donald having comet. But that's fine. Another thing with Rando is death is not the end. Trial and error is fine. It is not the end of the world. So, I'm just gonna... for the sake of making things easier, I'm just gonna get Goofy in because Goofy doesn't start with a limit. Okay. The important thing, because with forced fights that are, like, fixed so that every time they are the same, menuing in the room beforehand is important. Like, whenever you see me fight Zigbar, if I'm using a final form strat, before I walk up to that arena where the cutscene starts, I will menu down to my drives and manually set it to final form. Because the command menu remembers where you've navigated. So, like, if I move it to the one command menu that has limit at the bottom, it will start on the command menu side with limit. And that is ideal, because then we go up XX, and then we go straight into a dance call. We're gonna see what Ultimate Weapon has in a minute. Because this is a balanced seed that I created. It's not boosted. Alright. Couple hits, X, couple hits. Sort of want to get into place for this. Never mind. You pick up a chest. You can pick up a chest or 2 if you can. In here. You do not have to because it can be very risky if you are not prepared. But picking them up here saves you a little bit of time. That's fine. We got it. Alright. Ideally, you don't want to have to finale, because that does take up a lot of time. But if you are not racing, and if you don't give a shit, and if you're just doing this for you, pop that finale. Ruin their lives. They earned it for being bastards. Now, you walk into Santa's house, and Santa has a couple chests that you can take. You take those chests. But be wary of the elf who will try to talk to you in front of this chest right here. Sometimes this elf will be like right here and waste your time. This is not super important for the run, it's just tedious. And once you walk into the workshop, you have finished the part of Halloween Town that people will do initially, because the next fight after this is going to be the Parasite Cage. Or not Parasite Cage, sorry. The Prison Keeper. The Heartless who has a cage as his stomach, who takes the kids and, like, gets powers based on which kid he's eating. We don't do that early. We don't do that unless we have a hint for Halloween Town, usually. Or unless we're getting desperate. So, we have to walk back to the save point and then leave. But when we're walking to the save point, what's going to happen? We're going to get ambushed. So we prepare a dance call, and you can use this to farm a little bit of extra XP on the way without really wasting too much time. Like, you see this? We might hit level 10 because of this shit. And we didn't even have to pop a finale. So now you walk back to the save point. And, this is going to be a tip I just bring up in general. This is good for even if you are doing a normal, casual run of vanilla KH2. This is going to be an important tip for you. See how my MP bar is still refilling? See how it's going so slow? When I walk up to the save point, it goes a lot faster. But, what if I told you there was an even faster way to regen? You walk up to the save point, you hit triangle, and then you dip out, and it's automatically refilled. If you're ever in a pinch where you need your MP back fast for a fight in the next room and you don't want to wait, hit triangle on a save point and then immediately exit out. And you have your instant MP refill for free. Okay. Guard is very good. There's only one guard in the fucking game, so finding it, you want to equip that. Because anytime you have the option to guard, especially if you don't have a reflect, you take that. You want that. What else? Oh, that's a bad ultimate weapon. That's a shame. Okay. Since we got a torn page from Halloween Town, as you can see, we have one of the torn pages. I like to start at 100 Acre because it's an easy 3 checks. But what a lot of people like to do is that they like to wait until they get a torn page and then go to 100 Acre because the first torn page is free. You do not have to do the minigame at Piglet's house to get Piglet's chests. You can just go in and get those 3 and then leave. So you come in here, and since we have a glide, we can do it a lot faster than we normally would be able to. I will happily take an aerial dodge. And we're going to Piglets now. Let's see. Oh. I thought I had a quick run or a dodge roll there. That's my bad. And that's a magnet. That is very good. I cannot overstate how good having a magnet is. Because crowd control is important, and you either get it from Magnet or Chicken Little. That's basically it. Alright. Now that we've checked the torn page, we look at our hints, we see what we've gotten. And as of right now, the hints that we can follow up on actively are Agrabah has 2. Holla Bastion has 8. And drive form levels have 1. Drive form levels is tricky because you can't really actively mess with that. What I mean by that is, you have to find all the drive forms to be able to get all the potential drive form level ups. Worlds, when worlds are hinted, you can go to that world. When drive forms are hinted, it could be on one of 5 drive forms, it could be up to level 7 on drive forms. So it's iffy. Sometimes you have to follow up on drive form checks because you are like 4 hours in and there's been nothing good. But ideally, you want to level up your drive forms organically, just while you're doing other stuff, so that way it's not as big of an issue. One time I had 4 checks on drives and they were all reports. Oh god. Yeah, that sucks. I'm sorry. Hey, Jarring Toaster. we're doing okay. This is more of just a chill walkthrough on, like, my thought processes for Rando and the ideal stuff, quote-unquote, to do in certain situations. So, we have an aerial dodge and we have a glide. That's pretty good movement. So I would say right now, we could potentially go to Disney Castle and pick up the first few chests in that area. That's not a bad place to start, because that's 7 free chests. And then, well, no. 7 in the courtyard, the 1 in the library, and then you talk to Minnie and she gives you another one. We could do that. We could do Agrabah, because the first Agrabah forced fight, you can lose and it will still let you progress with the bandits. It's very helpful. And there are 6 chests in that first area. But the risky thing with Agrabah is when you go to Agrabah, you usually want to be able to do all the way up to the Abu minigame, because once you finish the Abu minigame, there's a save point there. You can go right back there to do the cave challenge, and you pick up a lot of good chests along the way. But the Bazaar requires some crowd control. Not so much as, like, being able to beat the enemies, but, like, you usually want a reflect. Because the ice guys in the cave, in that first room, they will try to hit you with icicles. Guard might be nice, but if you reflect, you can defend on any side. The thing with guard in KH2 is that it does not defend on all sides, only in the direction you're facing. So, thinking all of this over, the belly dancers, yeah, the guys who look like they're belly dancers, the ones floating on their little orbs. So, the thing with Rando is that you want to be well informed and you want to be able to make those split-second decisions. So you have to be thinking ahead about what hints you have, what abilities you have, and what worlds you have not done yet. So while I was in Pooh, considering my options, if I don't feel super confident in anything, or if I want to try and look for better movement, I can go to easy worlds like Port Royal, Land of Dragons, Disney Castle, or potentially even Space Paranoids. But Space Paranoids is a unique case. The reason I mentioned Port Royal and Land of Dragons is because both of those worlds have 3 free chests at the very start. And if you have decent enough movement like Quick Run or Glide, you can pick up these chests in maybe 10 seconds and then just leave. And you have 3 free checks, potentially some movement, maybe a new Keyblade. If you can get lucky, maybe even a Drive Form. Yesterday I did a seed where Limit Form was in one of the first 3 chests in LOD. And it was very nice. Also, whenever you get a new party member, steal their ethers. Ethers are expensive. You don't have to waste time on potions, but if you know they have an ether, take it. They're not going to use it responsibly. Okay, nothing spectacular, but that's fine. I'm gonna try Agrabah for you, chat, just so you can see what I mean. As far as the crowd control, as far as losing the first force fight. Because normally, since Agrabah is another one of those later game worlds like Halloween Town, I like to kill a couple of these guys, just to see what I can do. There we go. It took a while because he wanted to run away from me, but it's fine. He's dead now. Alright, Agrabah only has 2 checks, so it's not a high priority world, but the thing about hints is that with hints, certain things have to be hinted. Like, reports will hint other reports, reports will hint proofs, and reports will hint drive forms. These are non-negotiable facts. Alright. So, as far as the chest route for this, you pick up those 2 since they are right by the start. I like to go there and then here, because I don't like the idea of coming all the way to this chest, then having to go back for this one down here, and then go back up here. I like the routing of just going to everything that's on one level before then jumping up to the next level. You come back here in this alley and there is a chest in the corner. Then you go back there and there's a chest in the corner. And this is fast because we have glide and aerial dodge and movement. The thing about Rando is if you plan on racing people, you want to save as much time on the little things as possible in case you fuck up on the big things, like Xigbar. Xigbar is always a wall for me. I need to learn to get better at Xigbar. So I like to save stuff like Agrabah, Holla Bastion, Twilight Town, for when I have Schmovement. This is fucking Schmovement. Schmovement here, spectacular. And because we have Glide too, the way Glide works when it stacks, Glide 1, if you just have base Glide, you can go at a decent speed, but the moment you approach ground level, Sora will fall. With Glide 2, that is no longer the case. So long as you are holding square, you will not fall. I am not moving any directions, I am not going anywhere. But I am holding square, which means this boy is not touching the ground. It's very important to know small stuff like this, so that you know when is most ideal for a situation. Okay. Now you see how I'm getting decimated here. This is why I like to have a reflect. The Fat Bandit, magnet auto-customized to my X, so I'm not used to it. Remember, customize your magic once you get it, because you want to know where it's at, and you want your magic to be in a place where it's comfortable for you. Okay. I need this thing destroyed. There we go. You can destroy all of these, you can destroy all of these little wooden stands with magic. So if you have fire, blizzard, thunder, any offensive magic, you can break those yourself and you're fine. You are not at the whim of the Fat Bandits. But if you don't have that, you are at the mercy of the Heartless to break all the shit for you so you can go check it. Okay, when did we get auto limit? We basically started with it, which is good, because having auto drives in a pinch, very useful. Okay, Thunder Boost. We don't have Thunder yet, so I'm going to prioritize that, but we only have 6 AP boost, it's not worth chugging. Personally, I like to have my magnet on square. I know it's going to be different for everybody, but please remember, when you get magic in Rando, you cannot change it or customize it in the same room that you got it. You have to do a room transition, and then it will show up in your customize. This is because of the way you normally get magic in KH2. You normally get it at like the end of a world or during a boss fight where there will be a cutscene or a room transition. Do not worry, it's not broken. This is just a thing. Yes, auto abilities can trigger without you having the normal drive form. But, and this is the caveat, drive form leveling, the way it works, you can gain 2 levels plus the number of drive forms you have. So, in the base game when you get Valor form, you can get Valor up to level 3, because you have 1 drive, that being Valor, plus 2. Once you get Wisdom, that number bumps up to 4, because 2 plus 2, and so on and so on. When you use an auto drive form, that does not apply. So, I have 0 drive forms right now. You can see it on my tracker. But I have auto limit. So if I start using limits in limit form, I can get auto limit up to level 2, and that's it. Once I find another drive form, if I want, I can get limit leveled up to 3. But only up to 3. Auto drives can only level up to the current drive form cap that you are at. So like if I have every drive form but limit, I can get auto limit up to drive form 6. Sorry, I need to take a sip of my drink. But, yeah, I walked back here because I figured I should explain the chest locations for the Bazaar. So you have this first one right over here. Once you come out from the peddler shop, you want to climb up these booths before the bandits destroy it, and then you want to grab it. From here, directly across, you have this one over here. This one is hidden by the booths, but it's not inside of one of them. That's fine. This bastard, this one right here, is hidden inside of a couple of stalls. So you have to either get the Heartless to break it, or you have to use magic to break it. This is tricky. This is a thing that a lot of people will probably miss in their first KH2 run. But as someone who's played it multiple times, I'm here to let you know, this exists. Do not forget that chest. There might be a proof in there. And once you get that one, it's a straight shot from here to the door, and you go. You grab the 2 chests in the Oasis area, then you move on to the Cave of Wonders. So, for Agrabah in general, like, because I don't think these Heartless really show up anywhere else. I don't know what they're called, but they're the little white guys that float and then turn into orbs of light. These bastards. If you jump, they'll usually teleport above you, and they will kill you, like so. So what you need to do is either you come in here with a high enough aerial dodge and glide to avoid spawning them entirely and just land in front of the chest, or you walk. Quick running does not trigger their bullshit. If you quick run, they'll still teleport above you, but you won't be midair and so you won't die. There are certain places where if you have good enough movement, you can avoid spawning certain enemies. This includes the bees in Spooky Cave, but we'll get to that if I can find the torn pages for Spooky Cave. Now this is the room you really want to reflect for, because these fuckers, those guys right there, either you get good enough movement to run past them, or you die. There is no alternative. There's 4 chests in that room, and once you're done with that room, you have to examine both the jewel and this pedestal. So, now we do the Abu minigame. The Abu minigame is not difficult. It might be a little tedious, but it's fine. The big rule of thumb is, your jump and your reaction command button can both be hit by your thumb. Hit them at the same time, if you can. And you want to come out the gate mashing triangle to get Abu to move as fast as humanly possible. Because if Abu moves at the very start, you will usually finish the game. Well, that didn't work out. Okay. That was a bit of a scuffed attempt, but it's fine. It's fine. If you hit them at the same time, evidently Sora does not jump, so you want to hit triangle, then circle, within like a second of each other. And if you ever need to maintain your drive gauge, whether it be when you're in the middle of a summon or in the middle of a drive form, going to the garden, leaving, will reset your drive gauge to full and put you back as base Sora. This is a thing that you can also do in the main game. Although there you have to go through the gummy menu, and you have to go to the specific world and select the specific save point, so it's a lot more tedious in that sense, but it is still handy. Now, as you can see, we went up to the Abu minigame, and we did not get a single important check from Agrabah. So, that is dangerous, because what that means is, it's either going to be in the second half of First Visit, which includes the trial in the Cave of Wonders, and the treasure room, and that boss fight, which, that boss fight is not hard, mind you. It's tedious, but it is not difficult. Or, and this is the worst alternative, it is behind Second Visit. Second Visit Agrabah is one of your last resort things. Don't ever fucking do it if you have better options, unless you have a hint. If you have hinted Second Visit Agrabah, you can try it, but you better know what you're doing to save some time. I might teach y'all Second Visit Agrabah if this seed goes far enough, or if you guys want, I can teach you Second Visit Agrabah. I need to get better tools to do other stuff first, though. So, we're gonna dip to Disney Castle real quick. We do not have hints for it, but there's the 8 free chests and the 1 check from talking to Minnie.
This is...
Alright. So, climbing up the stairs, if you have good movement, very fast. If you don't have good movement, wait. Because this courtyard's all about movement. And this courtyard also has an issue with the minute bombs. Because on one specific platform, those minute bombs will spawn, and they will immediately try to dive bomb you. No pun intended. If you're not careful, those bastards can get you down to half health. Like that shadow just knocked out half my health. So, since we have a magnet, we can improvise by doing this and keeping ourselves safe from getting sniped. Or, what you can do is you can jump down from the platform, make them dive bomb and miss, and then go back to get the chest after a second. There are ways around stuff. Like, there's multiple solutions to any given problem in Rando. And if you experiment, I'm sure you can find something that nobody else has tried. But if there is one important rule to Rando, it is learn improvisation. Learn improv. Do not be set in your ways. I would actually argue that KH2 Rando is almost the antithesis of KH2 speedrunning. Because with speedrunning, there's very set things that you have to do, and things will be consistent every time. It is not that in Rando. In Rando, nothing is consistent. You don't know what the fuck you're gonna have, when you're gonna have it, what you'll start with. You don't know whether Olympus Coliseum Visit 2 is gonna have anything locked behind the Hades boss. You don't know whether... If you have a Promise Charm on, you don't know whether you'll find the Promise Charm in time. It's rough. I'll also teach you all the tech for Simulated Twilight Town, or STT, if I can find limit form. Because I think my movement right now is good enough that I would be willing to go in and do it. It's like a deck building game and it's draft day. Exactly. Yeah. You're not going to have the combos you're used to, so learn to adapt, learn to improvise, learn to overcome. Now these chests by the mansion, you get access to them 2 times. You get access to them right here, right now at the start of Twilight Town 1, and if you miss them then, you have to wait until you beat the Nobody fight in Twilight Town Visit 3. Get them first thing. Come here with enough movement that you can go to that corner, the front right, and the back left fast. Otherwise, it sucks. Because you don't know if there's something good there. And if there's nothing good there, and you waited till Twilight Town 3 to grab them, then you just feel kind of like shit. And no one wants to feel like shit. Now, we're going to Tram Common, and we're getting all of these chests in Tram Common. I like to come when I have good movement through that side, but what a lot of other people will do is as soon as they enter the back alley, they will go directly to the sandlot and enter from the back end. Either way is fine, it just comes down to how you prefer to go. Arguably, this is the faster way. If you go back alley, sandlot, Tram Common, it's a little bit quicker. Now, you have the one chest that is by the train tracks back here. If you're coming from the Station Heights side, this is the first one you should pick up. If you're coming from the Sandlot side, this should be the last one you pick up. Moving on, up here, we have this one. Now, I like to go directly across from that one to here, and then cut over here if I have a glide. If I don't have a glide, usually what I'll do is grab that one, grab this one. You can quick run across these roofs, even with a level 1, and you should still be fine. But if you have a glide, you just go. Alright. Now that we've gotten this one, there's 2 left. I already picked that one up because I came Sandlot side, but you want to go to the forest. Never miss the forest if you have the chance to go to the forest. Because, again, the woods If you miss them now, you cannot do them again until third visit. And on third visit, you're going to have a bunch of snipers chasing you. So you don't want to have to do it third visit. You dip into the forest real quick, you grab the last 2 chests back here, and then you dip. Now, if you're coming from the Sandlot side, forest should be the 3rd, 4th, and 5th chests you grab. From Sandlot side, what I like to do is come up here, grab this, go back over this way, and then if I can, sometimes, and I wish I had a quick run for this, I wish I could show you some of the movement tech in this game, but you could quick run off the side here, and then once you've quick run, you can aerial dodge into a glide. Or you can glide directly out of a quick run, if you're midair. There are many options for mobility, it's just a matter of figuring out which ones you prefer and which ones work best for you. Alright. Now we go up here. With this fight, if we had Trinity Limit, we could get through it in an instant. If we had Final Form, we could level up Final Form here. As it stands, I think we're going to force an L. Because I think we're still a low enough level that these guys can hit us hard enough to end it fast. But what Rando did, graciously enough, was if you are in a drive form in the middle of this fight, and it ends, and you're still in that drive, you get your drive back at the station. So, I might pop auto limit just for you to see that, but we'll see. Actually, I might just pop auto limit in general to level it up a little bit. So, hit me. This really is unfortunate how long it's taking, huh? Okay. So no auto limit because we didn't get it low enough in the HP gate, but that's fine. The way that fight works, it's based on the number of hits you deal, not the number of enemies you kill, I believe. So the lower level you are, the faster you'll be able to clear it because you won't have to wait for more enemies to spawn. You have 3 chests in the station. For the love of God, pick them up now, so you don't have to wait until Twilight Town 3. That's kind of the motto of Twilight Town 1. Get everything now, idiot. And then you talk to Donald to go ahead and hop on the train. From here, all the chests are pretty straightforward, and you just have to climb up Yensid's tower. All that good stuff. There are 3 chests right outside here. This is the only time you're forced to be outside the tower, so you, again, pick them up now, idiot. You don't want to have to come back here and make the walk of shame. And then you go fight Pete. Now, given the options I have here, I'm probably just going to magnet and see if I can get the shadows caught in the magnet, because they're baby shadows. They're start of game shadows. They're weak. And don't worry about wasting drive forms or wasting magic here, because as soon as you are back in the lobby of the tower, everything is refilled. And there's a save point anyway. Important tip for Rando. Or just in general, but especially for Rando. If you see a save point like this, where it's an orb of light with like a wispy trail behind it, that means you cannot go back to the garden from it. If you try to go back to the garden from a save point like this here, in Space Paranoids, or what is the other world this happens in? Or in Data Twilight Town, Simulated Twilight Town. If you try to go to the garden from any of these 3 save points, what you will end up doing is returning to title screen and losing all of your progress. I have done this before. You don't want to have done this before. I speak from experience, so that you might not know my pain. Please listen to me when I beg you not to fucking do that. Alright. These guys, you just have to wait for them to come to you. Woo! There we go. Doesn't Bio also speak from experience on that? Yes. Bio and Damo both. You don't want to join this club, believe me. It's not good. It's not fun. It sucks. Alright. One of the main reasons I say you want good movement for TT1 is also the tower, because climbing those stairs without any kind of glide or quick run is a fucking nightmare. Gonna go willingly join the club. Alright, then do it in the middle of a race with people watching. That's the way that you join the club. You have to publicly embarrass yourself on this front in front of a bunch of other people. Now, this one, you want the quick run for, because this set of stairs, as you can see, aerial dodge glide isn't doing a whole lot. Also, sorry if I start coughing. My throat's getting a little dry from all the talking, but... Pick up this chest here. Skip the book, talk to the old man. We don't need a recap. We're doing a rando. We know how the game goes. Then you have to go talk to 3 good fairies. Now, what a lot of people tend to do is they tend to talk to the red fairy first and then get this chest. But sometimes I just like to flex and walk backwards to get the chest first anyway. Do you not have water tea? No, I have water. It's just, I'm doing a lot of explaining, so I'm finding it hard to get a good place in to take sips. And for Final Mix, this is where they do the cutscene of introducing the puzzle pieces to you. So you have to go out a second time. That's fine. That is normal. I promise you it's okay. And that's all for Twilight Town 1. Normally, it's got like 2 or 3 good things. This time it had a torn page. That's fine. They can't always be winners. But a good habit to have is, by the first hour, ideally, you should have done at least Twilight Town Visit 1 and Holla Bastion Visit 1. That is because both of these worlds have a lot of chests, a lot of fights where you can level up drives, and a lot of fights where you can get high XP. You want access to Cavern of Remembrance and the mansion as soon as possible. Because the high-level nobodies in Twilight Town 3 and the Cavern of Remembrance chests are both very important. If you get Final Form is good for Xigbar strats. You want to level that in Twilight Town 3. If you get good movement, Cavern of Remembrance is important, because Cavern of Remembrance is coded in Rando specifically so that the chests inside of there cannot have drive forms and cannot have movement abilities, because you need movement to go through core. So having movement in core would negate the purpose of that. This means that if important checks in Cavern cannot be drive forms, then that's a higher chance of them being proofs. So normally core is good to check because odds are it has a proof. At least 1. I have not seen 2 in a single Cavern visit yet, but that's fine. Alright. What I wanted to show off there, and it's unfortunate that I didn't get to, was if you have glide or a quick run, you can hit X while you are in midair to skip that Mughal text box. I like to call that Mughal Skip. It's probably not actually a skip of any kind, it's just sort of a goofy thing that I found. And now we have the Force Nobody fight. Fun fact, you can also lose this one intentionally, but we're not going to. Alright, there's 5 chests in this area of Holla Bastion. Hi, Yuffie, how you doing? I'll see you in June, Yuffie, when you're on PS5. Alright. Depending on how good your movement is, you can go and pick up these chests early, but if you don't have good movement, you just go directly to Merlin's house. Because, and a lot of people forget this, for both Holla Bastion first visit and Holla Bastion second visit, you spawn in that first room, you come over here, and you have to enter Merlin's house to advance the plot. You do not want to have to make the Walk of Shame and backtrack. You go into Merlin's house, you skip the cutscene, and then you leave. And just entering Merlin's house here gives you a couple of pop-ups. That's fine. Sometimes I've seen a proof there, but it doesn't have to be. Now, normally, you would pick up that chest and then get these 3 if you don't have good movement, but fortunately for us, we have a good aerial dodge and a good glide, so we're okay. And now we do Bailey. With Bailey, ideally you want to have one piece of offensive magic that's long range, so like a blizzard or a thunder, so you don't have to get close, but we have a magnet and we have high level, at least for Bailey standards. Level 11 on Bailey is kinda good, so. Alright, now for these bastards, you do not approach. Not unless you have them stuck in something or unless you have an RC for one. You do not want to come near the samurai unless you want to get your ass beat. And that's why, because they can juggle you. They will straight up just juggle you. Oh, Leon got the last kill. Nice. And we got a glide. Nice. So that's... we have max level glide before we have a single drive form. That's fucked up. That's really fucked up. Oh, that's funny. Okay. Alright, so we've done Twilight Town 1, we've done Holla Bastion 1. We have our bases covered. So we're more free to go someplace else now if we want.
That's how it's done.
Thank you, Luthel, for the follow. So what I like to do is, if you're going to go to early game worlds, like Land of Dragons, Beast Castle, or Olympus, I like to be at least like level 15 with at least a couple magic spells. Because Olympus, dry forms don't really matter because you have the whole Olympus stone thing plot-wise. Land of Dragons, dry forms are fine, but you're not going to get to use stuff like Master or Final because Ping is in your party for the first part of it. And Beast Castle is pretty free actually, but it's very linear in its progression, and once you're like on this ride, you have to do the Cogsworth Lantern bullshit and then get to Beast Room. So you're in that for a bit if you don't dip early. Right now, we're unhinted on a lot of stuff, so I'm going to choose to go back to Holla Bastion, because there's 8 there, and Holla Bastion 2 has a good number of chests that it might be before we ever have to do Cavern or any of the Nobody fights. Because Ansem Study. Ansem Study is very important. Alright. We're going to initiate the Cloud cutscene. We are going to skip the Cloud cutscene. I'm sorry, Mal, if you're still here. But this is a teaching experience. I have to teach you all to skip cutscenes as well. And we are going to go to Merlin's house so we don't have to do the Walk of Shame. There we go. This time you don't get any pop-ups for going to Merlin's house, it's just to advance the plot. Oh. Yeah. Okay. And from there we once again go to the Bailey. But this time there's a very important difference. Skateboard. Once we are making the trek up to the Bailey, if you don't have good movement, or if you just don't feel like walking, walk slightly to the left and then pop on that skateboard, baby. Now the important thing to note with the skateboard, you can have fun while you're skating, it's okay. You can do some heel flips, you can do a jump and do a flip and do a spin. But the room transitions can't happen if you're in the middle of a quick run animation or if you're in the middle of a skateboard animation. There are probably others that I'm not, like, fully remembering at the moment, but notice if I do a heel flip while I go to the room transition between this area and the postern, it's going to take an extra second, and it's going to require me to finish my heel flip. Even if I'm holding forward, you have to finish that animation. So you can have your fun, but be wary of that. You come up here for the chest. We get Master Form, hell yeah. You dip back here for a third. And then you enter for what for first-time players is a labyrinth, but what for veterans is baby's first maze. So, there are 4 chests in the corridors here. I'm going to try and outline how I go about getting them. You go right and then left immediately. You pick up this one. You go left again to pick up this one that's by the broken pipes, and then you go immediately right to pick up another one that's right there. Once you come out here, on the opposite side, there will be 1 chest up these big steps, and then you're good. Congratulations, you have all the chests and you can just go now. A hallway, 13 haters are perishing. God. Alright, you get this chest, you talk to Leon, and then you do not move the control stick. Once you skip this cutscene, you just mash triangle. Because if you move, you adjust the position of where that reaction command prompt is. You just stand there, you let it pop, and then you examine the graffiti. Alright, aerial finish isn't bad. Now, this area, this door right here, is normally not accessible until Holla Bastion 3. Like, after you've done Thousand Heartless and all that. But, with Rando, if you find the membership card, you can go here early. By early, I mean as soon as you hit this access computer prompt. It opens up for you. I don't believe that we have it, so I don't think it's going to be open right now. But there is 1 chest back here. Just 1. There's only 1 chest. It's called the Tifa Chest, because Tifa is in that area. Just hanging out. Just vibing. That chest might have something good in it. It might not. If you have early access, you might as well take a peek and see. But do not stress out too much over it, because you don't want to have to do all of Holla Bastion 3 just for a chest. Yeah, alright. This fight is pretty rough. What I like to do, ideally, if I have it, is my game plan is Magnet Thunder. So you walk into that fight, you target the dancer. You make sure you get that dancer. You don't want to have to deal with the straggler dancer. It's bad. You magnet the dancer and it catches any enemies around it. And then you thunder, you blizzard, you fire your offensive magic of choice to kill everything in that window. You magnet again if you have to pick up more enemies. You empty your MP bar and then you go into a drive form. This is what I like to do. Sometimes it doesn't work out because sometimes the only drive form I have is Master and Donald is already fucking dead by the time my MP bar is gone. There's not much we can do about this. Alright. Hi Goofy, how you doing? I'm gonna try that one more time just to see if I can actually get them in a magnet and sort of loop them for a bit. Alright, there we go. You also want to get rid of that big red guy as fast as possible. Oh, I did not want to put 2 magnets up there. That's not good. And if you finish this fight fast enough, you keep your drive gauge. Because the post-turn, after this, Donald and Goofy are walking around. If Donald and Goofy are walking around, you cannot go into a drive form. So if you were already in a drive form before that, the game refunds all of your drive gauge, like so. This is why World That Never Was is such a good place to do light and dark on final form. But before we force final in World That Never Was, we're actually going to go pick up a couple chests in core. Because we have the movement. We have max glide. We have level 2 aerial dodge. We have a high jump. I think we're okay to pick up a couple chests. So, odds are very low that there's going to be anything super good in the first, like, 6 chests of core. But anything that you can get for free, if you're already in the area, it's not a huge waste of time to go pick it up. Now, what I like to do is I like to get the 2 chests that are up top. Okay. That's good. It's usually not great to get World That Never Was hinted, because, at least for me, because I don't do Promise Charm Seeds as much anymore, you're gonna have to do the World That Never Was climb anyway to beat the game. So it doesn't really serve much of a point to know what's there. Oh, the other thing to remember, with hints, movement abilities are not hinted. And abilities in general are not hinted. If you're looking for Guard, if you're looking for Leaf Bracer, if you're looking for Light and Darkness, you're not going to get that shit hinted. The only abilities that are hinted are Second Chance and Once More. And they might be on Keyblades if you have it set to action support, so you can't even count on that. So even if you think you've gotten all the checks in a world, if there are chests in the area you haven't opened, fucking open them. What are you losing? If it's a synth item, okay, sure, that sucks. But what if it's a fucking aerial dodge? And what if your aerial dodge is level 1? That makes the difference sometimes. Just pick up the chest. Speaking of, we picked up the 2 chests up top in Cavern and then left the room so that if we died picking up these 2 on the ground floor where enemies spawn, we don't have to go back and pick up 6 chests. We only have to pick up the 2 if they're useful. Which, the MP Rage is pretty useful. The Castle Walls map, not so much. But that's fine, because we got good enough movement. We got those 2, we're gonna go. I know I am not ready to do the first core forced fight. And I do not have nearly enough practice in Cavern Skip, or Core Skip, as it's known, to do it, even if I have Master Form. Because I think you also need Reflect for that, actually, and I don't have that at all. Alright. Now, we have Light and Darkness, and we have a Drive Form. This means that it's time for us to force Final Form. Now, normally the way you force Final Form in KH2 Vanilla, or KH2 Final Mix Vanilla. Once you beat Roxus, you have the ability to get it. In Final Mix, they added an ability called Light and Dark, and they slapped it on one of the coolest looking Keyblades in the game, making it useless once you've unlocked Final Form. It sucks. It's a shame because 2 Become 1 is a Keyblade I love a lot, but is practically useless in actual Final Mix. So, what's gonna happen? You notice that Donald and Goofy were walking on their own in that last room. That means that whenever we re-enter that room after being in a drive form, it's gonna refund all my drive gauge. This includes anti-form. Specifically, if you pop anti-form with Light and Dark, this includes anti-form. If you pop anti-form in the middle of a boss fight, I'm sorry, but your gauge is gone. So what we do is we walk around, we have to wait until the command menu goes yellow, or Light and Dark does not activate. Light and Dark only works when enemies are on the field. So once your command menu changes color, that's when you know to pop the drive form. And then we wait and we see, and it's anti, so we just leave. But we have full drive gauge. So we go again. If you get Light and Dark early, if you get a drive form early, it never hurts to do this. Any room where there's a save point immediately in the vicinity and Donald and Goofy are walking around, you can do this. So you could do this in Halloween Town, like outside of Santa's house. You could walk out there, pop a drive form, walk back up the hill to where the pumpkin tree is, and then you can get this done. It depends on the circumstances, but usually I like to do it in World That Never Was. Because it's very quick. It's a very quick walk to and from the area. You're going to have to go fight Roxus anyway, so... It wastes a little less time. At least it feels like to me. Alright, now that we get in, now that we've got Final Form, let's see what's on the Keyblade. Guard Break. Okay. Ooh. I will be putting that on. Final. Absolutely. And then Detection Saber. Also pretty good, actually. Yeah, I'm sticking with that.
That's how it's done.
I'm just gonna chug a bunch of AP boosts preemptively. Never use them on your party members. You are the only person that matters in Rando. Thank you, Hazel, for the follow. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream, and I'm also glad that you enjoy my username. It's based on The World Ends With You. Shibuya Cat was taken in a lot of places, so I just went with Gato, and... I mean, Gatito's a brand, so it works out. What if you get 2 final forms, you also get it in a chest? That doesn't matter. If you get final form after forcing it, that's fine. It feels like a slap in the face because you spent the time forcing it, but other than that, the game doesn't break or anything. The thing is that final form is important for a couple of Zigbar strats, so I like to force it if I have the opportunity. And also don't forget to turn off light and dark like I almost did. Because that will kill you in a boss fight if you forget that it's on. Now that we have final, we're gonna go do Twilight Town 2. Because you know who we fight in Twilight Town 2? A bunch of fucking nobodies. And we have a magnet. We have a little bit of help with some crowd control. Yes, on Arcana. There are a couple of Zigbar strats. Final form, hit Firaga is one of them. You also have Berserk Charge Horizontal Slash, which is tougher to pull off because you have to mash very hard to keep that going consistently. Or you have just Berserk Charge Final Form, where you run out your MP gauge, you don't do a finisher so he can't do a room transition, and then you just fucking wail on him for half his health. Alright. I'm gonna go final beforehand here, so I don't have to worry about knocking enemies out of place during the fight. If you do not have a magnet, Chicken Little works well as a substitute. Yeah, there's not much you can do about that. Because with the final form finisher, you're just going to land on the ground eventually, and I was going to land right into a death trap. You hate to see it.
Let's go.
Sometimes, you have to just take the L. There is not much you can do. Circumstances will be against you sometimes. You have to stay calm, and you just have to get ready to try again. But the other big thing in Rando is knowing when to give up. Because if you bust your head against a brick wall for 12 hours, eventually the brick wall is going to beat your ass. That dusk just killed me. Okay. I would like to have a reflect here as well, because a reflect would be nice. But that's fine. I think I'm going to abandon this for now, because I thought I would be more well-equipped than I actually am. And if you need to abandon Twilight Town 2, you just go to the back alley. So again, you want good movement. Be careful not to hit the dartboard there instead of the save point, but now that we've hit the save point, we're fine. We will spawn back in the back alley, and we can go directly to the sandlot from that back alley. Instead of TT2, I might just do... Let's get the first part of Space Paranoids done. Because Space Paranoids has a couple of quote-unquote free checks. Like, they force you to do the dumb minigame with the blocks, but it's like 6 free chests. And if you have good draw, this gets done pretty fast, too. So you have the 2 chests in this room, and then if you walk along the outer wall of the next room, you're gonna find, I think, 4 more? Yeah, so you have chest, chest. Tatsu's opening move. Yeah. Now, for some reason, he likes to do Benoids first. Alright, you have 1, 2, 3, towards the horny room. If you have to ask why it's called the horny room, I will demonstrate for you shortly. And then 4. And then you have to do this. Now this minigame, you can do one of two ways. You can do it normally, which is slow and boring and tedious, or you can do it the fun way. By gliding across this room, you can follow the blocks much easier. And by using a drive form, you can just avoid having to figure out which one specifically it is. As long as you know what cluster it's in, it counts. Because you're hitting every chest at once. It's very good. Then you go back to this room if you want to leave, or if you just want to refill your drive gauge. Because again, Donald and Goofy walking around here. We're not going to do the horny room right now, because if I'm doing the horny room, I like to have Explosion or Stitch or Thunder or something. But we just learned that Olympus Coliseum is a 2. The first part of OC is fast enough. It's like 5... No. It's 4 in the hallway, and then 2 in the room before Hades escapes. So that's 6 free chests. I'm glad everyone collectively calls it that. Yeah, Stickman Sham ruined everybody's ability to hear that as anything but horny. Alright, so once you get in here, you save Meg, you run to the cave, and you hope that you have good movement. Because you need good movement for the cave. Ideally, glide. Even if it's level 1 glide, glide will get you through this much faster. But because we have aerial dodge glide, we're doing okay. So you have the one chest in the middle there. You have one on this side. One further down here. One if you backtrack in the other passage. Okay, no, there's 5 in this room. And then there's one right back here. Save Meg, more like say, hey girl, get up, this isn't how girl bosses work. What the fuck? I mean, I love Meg, but like... Alright. So, after this is Hades Escape. I don't have a Reflect, so I'm not comfortable doing Hades Escape. I'm going to dip. Hades Escape, the main 2 things that I want for Hades Escape are a Magnet and a Reflect. Because the Lancer dudes, who are immune to Thunder completely, so don't even try to use Thunder on them. Their first instinct when you get near them is to, like, rush at you and then stab you. If you have a Reflect, they stab you, you reflect, and then they eat shit. And you always want to make the enemies feel the wrath of their own attacks. What else could I do? I don't have Reflect Report Royal. I like to save Beast's Castle for when I have Wisdom form, ideally, but I also have Disney Castle that I could use for that. So that's fine. I have Magnet, and I can use Master Form because I think I have Drive Converter on, so this should work. The other thing is we found a money pouch, so do not be afraid to pop an ether. Literally do not be afraid to pop an ether if you need it. Especially when you have the money to buy more. Because I'm about to go up to this Mughal and say, hey, Monty. All of it. And then he gives me all of his ethers and I say, have a nice day. And I leave to get my drive gauge back. Now, you don't need to leave to get your drive gauge back, but part of the reason I specifically did here is because I was in Master Form, and all Master Form can do is aerial dodge. Master Form cannot glide. I don't want to be restricted in my movement. I want to glide. So we're going to glide. And we're going to go to the courtyard. Now, the courtyard is open right now. And I think right now is the only time it's open until you beat Zaldin. So go to the fucking courtyard. There's 3 chests back there. You don't want to miss it. For a long time, I didn't think it was open in the main game either, but, I was proven wrong. Because this is... Oh, second money pouch. Okay, so we can just buy a bunch of potions and more ethers. Nice. 2 dodge rolls. Oh, that's stupid. I love that. Yeah, if you get a money pouch, in Rando, each of the 2 money pouches is 5,000 free money. So, as soon as you get one, buy ethers. You want ethers. Ethers are your best friend. Shock Charm is pretty good, and Majestic Mushroom is fine, I guess. Alright, you want Dodge Roll on, MP Rage. Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna turn Leaf Bracer on before I forget. Because during boss fights, if you want to use a Berserk Charge strat, having Cure and Leaf Bracer for that is a godsend. Alright, now, for this part of Beast Castle, once you do the forest fight in that room with the rose, you are required to go up to the east wing and talk to Belle. That's up the stairs to the right. Once you talk to Belle, you leave and go to the west wing, which is opposite side. Now, the west wing is the last chance you have to back out before you are railroaded onto a 20-minute forced section of mini-bosses and mini-games. You can pick up these 5 chests in this room. 2 back here by the statues. Or 2 back here by the armor, sorry. 1 over here, and then 2 on the opposite side of these stairs. Once you start moving this wardrobe, you're kind of locked in. I think you can leave even after you finish the wardrobe, but like, if you're gonna waste time on the wardrobe minigame, I feel like you're in it for the long haul. What are some more of the no-use item benefits, like Promise Charm and Money Pouch? Okay. So, Promise Charm, as you probably already know, has been changed so that if you have the Promise Charm as well as all 3 of the proofs, that computer in the middle of the Garden of Assemblage, the one that you turned on to get that 3rd chest in the center and put out all the world portals, that becomes a gateway to an easy level grinding area and an immediate skip to the final boss. So the World That Never Was is now unnecessary. Granted, even in a seed with a Promise Charm, there can be a proof on World That Never Was all the way up to the first Xemnas fight at the tower. It just depends on how lucky you get. The membership card opens up that extra room in Ansem's study early, because normally that room is not open until you've beaten 1000 Heartless. But if you have the membership card, as soon as you access the computer once, you can go in there and get that free chest. The money pouches, each of them give you 5,000 money. If you get the Olympus Stone, and you do Olympus, you can do something neat, which is you have drive forms during certain force fights where normally you wouldn't, because you have the Olympus Stone early. Is that it? I think that's it. I don't know if there's any more, like fetch quest items that have been buffed for Rando. Let me see. If I have any more, I'll let you know, but... yeah, no, that's it, I think. If they do happen to add any more, checking out the KH2 Rando Discord, they usually announce whenever Sonic Shadow Silver 2 puts out GOA mod updates, and those will have patch notes, like making things so that STT doesn't break half the game, so that certain cutscenes are now moved around, so you don't have to do extra visits. A lot of stuff. If you want to keep up with it, that Discord is the best way for you to stay up to date on updates on the Rando itself, on mods, on trackers. It's very handy. I probably should have prepared a link for this ahead of time, but I did not, unfortunately. Thank you, Geography, for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome to the Rando teaching stream. This is where I'm going to teach you how to move a wardrobe. And I'm going to be taking a big sip of water while I do it, so forgive me if I'm not speaking as much. Okay. Now's where we get railroaded. Because if we enter this mini-boss, we are now stuck up until we beat Beast in his room. But we're gonna do it anyway. Because we have Master Form, this guy drops Drive Orbs, and I need to get up to level 4 with Master. Because I have Master and Final, even if the tracker does not say so. I wish they had auto-skip in Rando. Yeah, but like... I'm cool with you still having to manually skip cutscenes. I think it's funny. Oh, my strength is so weak, dude. And I got an aerial dodge from Master Form itself on base Sora. That's funny. That's so unfortunate that I ran out of it. Ugh. That's fine, I guess. It means I have to recharge my drive gauge across the mini games, but it's okay. Alright. We have a form boost I'll turn on. And that's about it. Oh! That's actually really fitting, because, Hydra is one of the other good places to use Trinity Limit. If you do it right, you can skip Hydra's entire third phase by using Trinity Limit when the heads are all grouped up together up top. It is very funny when it works, because you just hit a couple buttons and then this man's health bar is decimated. Also, if you are ever in doubt as to how drive forms level up, go to status, and then go to experience under each individual drive form. It explains how they each level up. What about those drive recovery items you can't use in battle? I don't like to use them unless I'm doing a specific strat, especially when I have drive converters, so I get drive orb drops from enemies. As well as, you know, your drive gauge charges much faster when your MP bar is empty. You see that effect on the drive gauge? That's not just for show. If you're fighting enemies while your MP bar is empty, you're just naturally going to get more back in the drive gauge. Yes, hello. I'm so tired of this shit. There we go. Alright. And if you can, you pick up these 2 chests while you're in the middle of this minigame. Save yourself some time and pain. Makes sense, just curious. Yeah. Understandable, but because those things are so rare, you want to save them for special occasions. Because, like, if you're going into an area with a lot of enemy encounters where you can just charge up your drive gauge naturally, you kind of want to do that. Yeah, alright. Now my drive gauge is almost fully back to 2, which is pretty good. Oh no, I'm gonna get to teach Spooky Cave way sooner than I thought. Oh no. 3 out of 5 torn pages is scary, because... Oh? Sure, the length of your message broke the fucking Streamlabs alert. But also, thank you for the 9 months. Sora, Donald, Goofy. Thank you very much. That's fine. Okay. You don't really have to mash for this cutscene, but or for this thing, but I like to. Damn, the Jasmine balloon popped and we haven't even reached DDD. Beast only has potions, so you don't have to steal any ethers from him. But do not forget the chest in Beast Room. I'm begging you. Do not forget this chest. I've had Limit Form be in that chest, and the entire time I've been going, where's Limit Form? And it was there all along, and I just missed it. So that's all the chests in Beast Castle. We could go up to Darkthorn, but I don't really feel like doing that. Instead, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go further in Disney Castle, and we're going to actually activate Timeless River. Because you can do up to Mini and then leave, but if there's something good in Timeless River, and you miss it, you're going to feel like shit. Take it from somebody who has missed a proof in Timeless River because they did not feel like doing it. And it was 3 hours later, and it was kind of unhinted, and Timeless River just had the shit. Alright, now what a lot of speedrunners like to do with Mini is they like to push that mouse. Pushing that mouse takes far more skill than you would think. So what I like to do is I just like to call her over and then run a little bit ahead until she decides to actually catch up. It's a little bit slower of a route, but you can still move pretty fast with it if you time it right. And from here we should be able to get all the way to the door. If these shadows were not harassing her, we'd be able to get all the way to the door. There we go. Again, if anybody has any specific questions about, like, certain fights, certain things, feel free to just ask. Like, this is a teaching experience, and I'm trying to walk through how I think through things. But if you have something that you wanna like ponder about, or you just want to know more, this is for that too. This way. Let's go. This would be fine if Minerva decided to pick up her knees and book it. Correct. Let's go. If the rat would simply move towards the cheese throne, we could be done with this by now. This way. Let's go. This way. Let's go. Now, don't be afraid to spam Faith because you have iframes during it. Imagine a chain of having Final on Master Level 5 and Master on Wisdom and Wisdom on Valor. That sounds like hell. This way. Let's go. Because that could actually happen, I think. Actually, I don't know if dry forms can be on other dry form level ups. Let's go. I need to look into that, because that's terrifying. I don't think they should be. I don't think that's possible, but there can be proofs on drive levels and shit, so. Alright, now we go to Timeless River. There's 2 chests in the first spot, and then there's 2 at the pier where Timeless River Pete is. Once again, this is not a world that you can leave by hitting a save point. You see how it's a couple of glowing orbs with, like, particle effects trailing behind? That means if we try to leave through the save point in Timeless River, you're going to lose all your progress. Don't do that. Alright, so these 2 are Mithril Shard and... Okay. I'll take Magnera.
What's that for?
Gather!
Okay. What other hints do we have that we haven't really followed up on? We still have the Agrabah 2. We still have the Olympus 2. I'm surprised we haven't found a single reflect, to be honest with you. Oh yeah, once these windows open up, you can go directly to the waterway before you have to do Steamboat Pete. So, get these 3 chests for free early. So if there's something good in here, you can just leave before you ever have to do the windows or Steamboat Pete. Oh, alright. And I'm pretty sure, I'm like 80% sure that if you do the window in Mickey's house first, that they just give you the check for beating all of the windows early. Same thing with Shang's missions in Land of Dragons. If you do the mission in the camp, the one at the very bottom of the list first, I'm fairly certain that... well, no. I know for a fact that in Land of Dragons, they give you the reward for completing all of the missions if you do the 3rd mission first. You still have to do the other 2 missions because that's... because the actual story is locked behind it, but it's a neat thing. Also, you can get your drive gauge back for... Oh, they don't. Okay. So, they don't do that for Windows, but they do that for the Land of Dragons missions. That's my bad. Gay Baby Joe would be 1,000 times better if you could leave. You can leave before you fight Axel, actually. But you do have to do all the way up to day 6 to get there. Zonmin, they're actually working on that. They're working on fixing that issue for good in the next Garden of Assemblage patch. So I think you're going to want to keep an eye out on that. Hi, I'm here to break character for a minute to say that otters are super cute. They are. They actually are. Very cute. Oh, there's a quick run. Finally. A single crumb of quick run. So I can show off the Roxus Strat.
How do you like?
Oh, it's real nice. Okay. We're gonna leave because all I really wanted for a while was a quick run. And I'd like to teach you all a little bit about beating up Roxas. But before I teach you about beating up Roxas, we have to turn off guard and dodge roll. You will see why. I lost a second chance goalwing to it once. My next seed had a once more goalwing just to taunt me. Oh god, I am so sorry. Yeah, no, I've lost important keyblades to Gay Baby Jail. It sucks. Alright. It also occurs to me that we didn't pick up any of the chests before Roxas up till now. And I probably should have done that, because if there's a reflect in any of those fucking chests, I'm gonna be upset beyond belief. I'm also going to change Keyblades real quick, because I want to show you what it's like without scan. Combo Master Decisive Pumpkin. Okay, neat. Right now it's actually my best Keyblade, so... let's do that. Okay. So we're going to pick up these 4. And I'm going to teach you all how to do the Roxus Strat. Now the Roxus Strat is simple. You dodge his first 4 attacks that he does at the very start. Technically, all you need is Quick Run, but I like to do it when I also have an aerial dodge and a glide. Once you have dodged his attacks, he will approach you and do the end reaction command. You pause buffer that. You pause buffer that to get it right. Oh, he's giving me the easy shit, huh? Alright, so we pause until we see where it is. Then we menu to it. Now from here you see that we have his Keyblades. So, we do not have scan right now. I took off the Keyblade with Scan. We are blind. But you do a 3-hit combo. If you have to do an extra hit to get him up against the wall, you can do an extra hit. But ideally, 4 hits is as much as you should need. And then you quick run against the wall. And you do that for basically 2 minutes on the dot. And once those 2 minutes are done, you do a spell or you do a finisher to end his life. To finish him. Alright, let's see. Okay. So at 141, let's say 38. 141.38 is when I will do the finishing blow on Roxus. I'm not holding a control stick right now. I'm just mashing square every so often. But if you have guard on, you will have to hold the control stick forward, because guard activates when you're not holding a direction. So that's why you take guard off, that's why you take dodge roll off. You only want quick run. I swear seeing you fight Roxus with Decisive Pumpkin is taking me back to normal KH2. Yeah, I'll bet. Hey, it's not my fault they gave Decisive Pumpkin Combo Master in this seed. Yeah, normally you find a quick run much faster in seeds. But even with a single quick run, it's very hard to do with just one. I like to have quick run and maybe an aerial dodge and a glide just for safety, because dodging his shit becomes a lot easier if you have... Even just level 2 quick run makes it so much easier. But there's only 4 quick runs in the whole game. So sometimes you get lucky and you find 3 in the first hour, sometimes it takes you almost 2 hours to find a single one. I think it was 141.38. I'll do 141.40 just to be safe. There we go. I like to finish it with magic if I can, just so I don't risk breaking him out. But you can finish him with a normal set of hits. If you have limit form, you can actually end it with limit form by doing a couple limits once he's at about 1 3/4 bars. So like 1 square on the bottom and then like 3/4 of a bar left. I'm a little upset that we just now found a Thunder and it was behind Roxus the whole time, but you know, they can't all be winners. And that's a fucking proof. Okay. That's funny. You get the 3 chests in that room after Roxus. 1 is by the truck, 2 are by the entrance to the next area. And then there's 2 in this area. Both are on the left side. 1 is tricky because it's behind the cliff. Okay. Turn guard back on. Turn dodge roll back on. Yeah, sometimes Roxus is guarding really good shit. Most of the time he won't be, so don't get used to seeing that. Personally, I'm one of those idiots who likes Thunder on Triangle and Cure on X if I'm gonna use Cure, but that's just me. Alright, next area, let's go. So right now we're level 16, our stats are a bit atrocious, because once again we are a glass cannon mage. Our magic is literally twice as high as our defense right now. And that does not bode well for future endeavors, but it's okay. There's only 2 chests in that area. You just glide through and get them both. And you can skip this elevator entirely if you want, but I kind of want to try and get some final form levels here. Even if not final form levels, those Dragoons give a fuck ton of XP. So, if you have the chance to kill them reliably, it's never a bad bet to go ahead and kill them. Now we get the one chest right before the Xigbar fight, and we leave. Because for Xigbar, I don't believe I have a Berserk charge, actually. I do not. Okay. So no Berserk charges at all. No fire at all. This is kind of dire, actually. Fuck. I might as well try the start of Port Royal, because I like to have Reflect for it, because it makes it go much faster. But you don't need it, because you can force a loss on the first 2 forced fights, and you can still progress. Everything after that, though, you have to beat. So, like, these 2, you're gonna see me eat shit. That is intentional. Explode. There we go. I think even here you can force an L, so let's see. Yeah, okay. I miss Blizzard. When will it come home from the war? I don't know. I wish I knew. I haven't heard from my son Blizzard in 3 weeks.
Where are you taking me?
Okay. Now we have to do this. This is tedious but fine. We have Magnera now. We have the power. There we go. I wish KH2 Blizzard was like KH1 Fire. It would be neat, but the fact that it travels in a straight line makes it very handy for a couple of fights. Oh. Yeah, the cannons suck. They're pretty annoying. Not the worst enemies in Port Royal, mind you, but they're up there. They're not great. Okay. Jack does not have an ether. We're not taking that. I'm going to board the ship, but I'm not actually going to go anywhere. I think I'm just going to leave and see what I can get from... Where did I want to check? I think we're well equipped now to go to Agrabah and do the Cave of Wonders challenges. Because Agrabah is still hinted, and it's still going to bug me. At any time, you can go into the that room of any of the pirate ships in Port Royal and just leave, by the way. Okay. I don't need to level up Master anymore because I already have it at max for now. I can't level Final here. I have Magnera, and that's gonna have to do. Alright. Absolute worst case, I have Master Genie. Fat Bandit is gonna suck, but that's fine. He seems to be spitting, so... No, okay. If he was spitting the orbs at us, that would be much more ideal. Okay, that's fine. Sometimes, if you need to let your party members just do the fighting, just let them do the fighting. There is no shame in it. Sometimes enemies suck. But you can block when they are spitting projectile fireballs at you. And you want to block when they are spitting projectile fireballs at you. It's very good. Okay. Fat Bandit spitting straight fire. Oh, God. Alright. Okay, so these two, Dry Boost and Vanilla Scan. Great, actually. Perfect that one scan was on a Keyblade and the other was just on its own. I'm very happy with that. Now, this is crucial. Treasure Room has 2 chests in there. Rando makes it so that you don't immediately leave the room. You have a chance to go and get the chest once you've done this part. Get the chest once you've done this part. Again, it's a walk of shame if you don't. I've had proofs be in here. I have had drive forms be in here. I've had a lot of good shit be in here, and then people just don't pick it up. Alright, I'm gonna let Magnet do the work here until I summon Genie. Because I might as well just let Genie do the work here if I don't want to. Because look at that. What'd that mouth do? The mouth kill Heartless. Alright, now walk backwards. You want to walk backwards as soon as you load in here. You want to get those 2 chests and then leave. That's horizontal slash, alright. That is 1/2 of one of the Zigbar strats. If we find a single Berserk charge, I feel confident going to take on Zigbar once we level up a bit. Okay. Since we still haven't found any of the important checks, I'm just gonna go and fight the boss. The boss is fine. It's not the worst boss in the game. It's not the best boss in the game. It's a boss. Just remember that the RC is optional for this one. That is the reaction command. You do not have to press triangle on these clowns if you don't want to. That's fine. I'll pop auto limit, get some limit levels in. And then I will do this. There we go. Not a single reaction command needed. Completely optional. Wonder what Robin Williams thought about Kingdom Hearts. I hope he would have enjoyed it, considering the main themes of it, but I also know how he felt about the genie being so overused as a marketing symbol, so... Well, that's funny. That's funny as fuck. Alright, that's final form. We officially found it. But this also means Agrabah 2 has something important behind it. I don't like that. Chat. I'm going to do it now, so I can teach you the proper way to do Agrabah 2, but don't think that I enjoy having to do Agrabah 2, please. And not to be a nerd, but has anyone mapped out worlds according to visit times and chest counts for those visits? I'm sure somebody has by now. But I don't know if anybody, like, has that charted. Oh, no. Okay. Do I have to go back to the peddler shop? Hold on. Alright, now I'm lost because I normally don't have to do Agrabah 2. Okay, so I just had to go to the peddler shop. No? Oh, no, okay. They just make it so you have to go straight to the Oasis. Okay. I guess Rando changed up some more stuff. I mean, Rising Phoenix, that's also not going to be consistent because it depends on what abilities you have. Because, like, depending on your movement speed for all this stuff, it's going to vary drastically what the timing is for each visit versus the number of chests found. Oh no. Oh no. I don't have fire blizzard. I don't have fire blizzard. Fuck, fuck, fuck. Let me out. Let me out. Let me out. I might have soft locked. No, I think they might let me leave. Hold on. Okay, thank God. Thank God. That scared me. Okay. We need 2 spells. 2 basic fucking spells that we should have found by now, frankly, to do Agrabah 2. And then I will teach you the optimal routing for Agrabah 2, according to a bitch who's just played the game too much and doesn't actually speedrun. It's not a soft lock even if you start this deep. I figured out the hard way. Ooh, yeah, okay. I mean, better to know, I guess, but that still sucks. Alright. Time to try this again. Because I'm confident I can do Twilight Town 3 in front of the mansion, no problem. It's this that's gonna give me some trouble. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay. At that point, I'd do multiple toolkits and figure out what a minimal toolkit versus max speed looks like, and then mark worlds where certain abilities help, but that's getting way too competitive. Yeah, that's getting, like, way into the min-maxing aspect. Fuck. When a proof is on Agrabah 2 being the ultimate payoff. I don't consider that a payoff, I just consider that the game wasting my time at that point, because a proof being on Agrabah 2 means it might also be on Genie Jafar, and who wants to fucking do Genie Jafar? Oh, I didn't want to do Master Form. What the fuck? I don't want to just take an L if I don't have to, but I hate being forced into Master here. Come at me. Idiot. Fell into my trap. Gotta learn the TT chests. Yeah. No, I'll teach you some of the Twilight Town 3 chests and STT. All that. Because I already did Twilight Town 1. STT, there are fewer chests, but the chests that are there are in different places. So you have to memorize different locations for both. Fun fact, they start you out facing the wrong direction for this part, so as soon as you finish this nobody fight, you want to turn around from where the game tells you should be going. Because you gotta go up to the station. Okay. 2 pop-ups there, neither of them good. That's fine. If you're doing this teaching, are you planning on a community race? That could be very fun, but very messy. I might be fine with that, but I mostly just wanted to do this to give people a bit more of a way to learn some of the nuances of Rando. If people want to do like a race in my Discord on one Friday night, I'd be down for that. If people want to like sign up to be coached by me through a run actually I don't know how I would do it exactly. Hell yeah, aerial recovery. Okay. I noticed that I'm not exactly pointing out where all the chests here are, so let me explain. Let me leave and come back. So this, I'm coming from the station. You go into the underground concourse, which just unlocked. What you want to do is immediately go left, and there's a chest here. You jump up through here, and there's another chest right there. You go down in this corner, and there's a chest, and over here, and there's a chest. There's only 4 down here, and those are it. Esports cast it? I could. If people are interested, we could do signups for like, I don't know, every Sunday. Let's say Sunday. I coach somebody through a rando race. Or not a race, just a rando. And, like, neither of us know where anything in the seed is, but I give hints when I need to. I try to help them through it. And then if they need hints, I can give a couple. But other than that, we go either till they finish or until they tap out after, like, 4.5 or 5 hours pass. I'd be fine with that. I would just need to know in advance so I could be able to set that up. So one's a no experience race against Tatsu. He was talking about doing a level 1 race yesterday. The idea of it fucking scares me. Because he's done level 1 before and I haven't. I've never beaten a level 1 run of KH2. So this is scary. But hey, we might do it at some point. Don't count us out on that. Okay. So, Sunset Terrace chest. You have the one in the alley where you do the ball minigame in STT. You have one up here. And then another one immediately next to it. And you have one over here near the fountain with the shadow. Not Shadows and Heartless, but like Roxus's anti-form or whatever. So now, since we want to go to the mansion, we go to exit 4, which is Tram Common. That's as close as we're gonna get. And we fly. Data Shadow Roxus. Yeah. Okay. Once again, this is your reminder that ethers are your friend. If you have money pouches, you have a lot of ethers and you want to use them. I should have popped it much sooner than that for this, but it's fine. I have some MP hastes. I have some MP rages. I want to get all these guys closer together. And once they all gather up in the center, I can, And once I get Final Form up, Magnet then becomes much more powerful of a tool. Magnet, Thunder, Final Form, and that fight is pretty easy. If you don't have Magnet, Thunder, or Final Form, again, improvise. You can have favored strategies for certain fights in Rando, but you have to remember that your favored strategy will not always be the strategy you go in with. Alright, now I'm just hoping that the no magic curse ends here. You have one chest by the back windows, and you have one chest over here. Fun fact. The chests inside the mansion, in this specific room in the mansion, are mirrored in STT. So the chest in that back window is on the left in normal Twilight Town. It's on the right in STT. The chest on this side of the stairs in normal Twilight Town, on the other side of stairs in STT. It's very goofy. There's literally no reason for it other than because they could. Not the magic I needed, but the magic I'm grateful for. Thank you for the thunder. These two chests are the same, I believe. One back there and one in the corner. And then you have two in the room before the computer room. Two in here. You have one in the corner over here. Then... No, it's just the one. Okay. The one at the bottom is what I'm thinking of for STT. Okay. And then I have to get to the save point quick or I lose all of my drive. Alright, there we go. Thank God. Okay, so now we've unlocked TT3. We've unlocked the best place for grinding Final Form, and probably just grinding in general. Because the Horny Room in Space Paranoids is good for grinding if you have experience boosts, and if you have, like, Magnet, Stitch, Explosion, Thunder, stuff like that. But this room, Final Form and Fire, really all you need. Of course, we don't have a fire, but, you know, you still want experience boosts for grinding, just because experience boost is handy to have. It speeds up the process by a lot. I think we have one, but there are 2 total in the game. Yeah, we have 1. Unless another one is on a Keyblade. Not that I'm aware of. Okay. This chest back here has Slapshot. That's fine. Not the best, but fine. Now, we're going to touch the beam because touching the beam gives us a pop-up item. But we can leave at any time. That was a high potion. That was not worth it. But that's okay. It can't always be worth it. You know what might be worth it, though? Holla Bastion. We have not gone back to Holla Bastion in a while. So we're gonna go do that second nobody fight in Holla Bastion. The one right out here. Because once you beat this fight, there are 2 free chests in this specific area. Always go back for the 2 free chests before you get desperate enough to do 1000 Heartless. I should not have wasted an ether that soon, but that's fine. I'll waste an ether there. That's fine. My favorite part of Rando's the touch the stove phase. Yeah, Bio, touching stoves is probably very unsafe. How you doing, by the way? How's it going over in your neck of the woods? Alright. So once you dip over here, you get the 2 chests in the back. I've had very good things be here sometimes, but actually never a proof. Like, I've had Explosion be back there, I've had Aerial Recovery be back there. I think I've had a Drive Form be back there, even. But never a proof. We still need a Blizzard and a Thunder to do Agrabah 2. Doing good, just got out of my internship and picking up some tacos. Ooh, nice. Alright, I don't have the Reflector Hades escape yet, so... The important thing about Rando is when you're making decisions, you have to make them... You have to put a lot of thought into it, but you also have to make them relatively quick. Because if you're going to start racing, you need to get used to making snap decisions. So, like, my snap decision is I'm not doing 100 Acre till I have 4 chests so I can... Or 4 pages so I can do Spooky Cave. I'm not doing Land of Dragons until I have I'll Reflect. I'm not doing Port Royal until I have I'll Reflect. I'm not doing the rest of Beast Castle without a hint. I can't do Agrabah 2 until I have Fire and Blizzard. I'm not doing Olympus until I have a Reflect. So my options have become very limited, but by limiting them in my head, I can decide I'm going to do Prison Keeper now. Bro, it's Taco Tuesday at the restaurant? Holy shit, Bio. Enjoy your fucking Tuesday tacos. I want you to hit me so you can knock me to a low enough HP gate to pop Limit Form, idiot. Let me pop Limit Form, idiot. Question, since I'm trying to download a seed right now, how do I get the hints? Alright, Mal, I'm gonna go ahead and link you to the website where you generate the hints. This is the specific website that we all use. So you go there, you plug in your panache file, you choose what you want to be hinted. So like if your seed doesn't have Promise Charm, you would turn Promise Charm off. You can turn Promise Charm on, you can change out certain worlds, and then you download it as a text file. Like on the side there, you see how it, hold on. On the side there where it says share hints. Once you've generated the hint file, you go to save hints. It is saved as a text file, and then you are able to plug it into the KH2 tracker. There we go. Alright. That took a while. There we go. I will always take a drive gauge power-up when I can find it. That's handy. Oh no, don't worry about it. So long as you're not spamming the chat with links, I do allow people to post links. And like, if it's relevant to the topic, or if somebody's asking for a link to the seed generating website or anything like that, you're more than welcome to just drop that link in here. Thank you, Tesber, for the follow. Appreciate it. Let's see what is on Oathkeeper. Okay. Oh, skip that. Oh, no! No! You hate to see Second Chance stuck on a Keyblade. The worst part is when they're on Keyblades, they're not hinted. So even if we got a hint for Halloween Town, that wouldn't be fucking hinted. It's better to have one of them than none of them, but it still sucks. And now that we have beaten Prison Keeper, I'm just gonna go ahead and beat Oogie Boogie, because thank God for the people at Rando who decided to make Oogie Boogie a single phase fight. The people, so you don't manually mark them off if it's on a Keyblade? No, because then if you get a hint for the world, marking it off manually would throw it off. Hey, Pokemon. No, Sun Arcana. For the tracker and for the hint system, if it's on a Keyblade, it does not count. The Keyblade is the reward, but even if Second Chance or Once More are on the Keyblade abilities, they're not hinted as Keyblade abilities. So you do not mark them off manually, because then if you get a hint for Halloween Town saying it's a 3, and you mark off the Second Chance Oathkeeper as being one of those, you're going to fuck yourself over potentially if the last thing there is a proof or a torn page leading to a proof or magic or a drive form. So just as a rule of thumb, if it's on a Keyblade, just do not worry about marking it off. There we go. Delicious. Okay. So, we've done all of Halloween Town 1. Halloween Town is unhinted, so I'm not going to really bother doing second visit.
Alright.
Okay. So the last pop-up was bad. But we got Second Chance Oathkeeper out of it. I think that was a worthwhile diversion. As far as what we do next. What do we do next? Still don't have enough magic for Agrabah. Not desperate enough to risk fighting the end of Pridelands 1. We're really running dry on hints, huh? I actually think I'm gonna go and try the first fight of Core. I don't have any good summons to help me through it, which sucks. Actually, what the fuck am I doing? I don't even have reflect. I'm gonna die. No. No, no, no. Hey, Deku. So yeah. Another big thing with Rando. If you decide to do something and then you realize that you fucked up, there is no shame in just leaving. Like, there is never any shame in it. I think we're running low enough on hints, and we're running low enough on information, that I'm more than willing to just push 100 Acre in the hopes that 100 Acre has, like, a secret report that will lead me somewhere, or a magic spell locked behind it. Wonder what's on Mr. Dance Water Dance. I might be desperate enough to try him later, but I would like a smackerel of fucking reflect first, if at all possible. For those of you who are not aware, yes, Rando does speed up both this and Honey Slider. It is very nice. But if you are not used to doing this or Honey Slider, well, no, this. Let me rephrase that. If you're not used to doing this, you just mash X in the corner until Piglet shows up and then you hit triangle. You're fine. If you're not used to doing Honey Slider, I would suggest going back to KH2 to practice that a little bit if you're able. There we go. Okay. Honey Slider the best minigame? Agreed. Hard agree. Love getting through Honey Slider with 1 life left. There's no shame in it. I used to play it obsessively as a kid, so not everybody is going to be as well versed in it. But the good thing about Rando is that all skill levels are welcome, because the C generation site has sliders to let you, like, take off Sephiroth, take off Lingering Will, turn off Datas, turn off Absent Silhouettes. It's very friendly regardless of your skill cap. It's real nice.
Split.
Alright. Time for this. Whew. Okay. For this first part, you really don't have to pick up any of the honey. I just do it out of habit. This next bit is where it starts getting more risky with actual things to dodge. Remember that you can hold down square to move Sora a lot faster. You have to hold it. You cannot just press it. But if you can get the go for pickups, and if you remember to dash, you should be okay on Honey Slider. There we go. The thing with Boss Rando is it's tricky, because they're tweaking it all the time. They're trying to avoid the game hard crashing when you do Boss Rando. And Boss and Enemy is just completely borked. There's no getting around that sometimes. But if you're going to do a Boss Rando, save constantly. What is the point of the honey? In the actual minigame, it would be to help you keep a score for the journal. But if you're just playing this in Rando to try and get through it and not actually caring about journal completion, the honey is a guide for safe zones. So it's always a good rule of thumb to just follow the honey wherever it may be, because the honey is where you're not going to take damage and potentially fail at the minigame. Okay. So this 100 Acre Wood trip was a bust. If I pick up another torn page, I might come back to it, but as it stands, I'm probably not going to. Fuck it. I'll go fight Demix. I don't have Reflect, but I have Second Chance now. I can't use Trinity Limit, which sucks, but I can always pop into Comet if I need iframes. I can I can drop Master or Final if I need to. It's a bit of a tradition for me. I wait for the mouse to bless me with his T-posing presence. And then once the mouse has blessed me, I move on. You do not have to do this. This is a tradition for me. It's my sort of good luck thing whenever I decide to do the Gauntlet of Holla Bastion 3. But feel free to make or break your own traditions as you see fit. Whoop, come on. Alright, come on, let's go. Alright. Yeah, that's why I like to have Reflect for Demix. Water and water and water, water. Yeah. The worst part is Demix looks like one of the people from FF8. I think his name's Zell? The one with, like, the tribal tat. I haven't checked Land of Dragons at all. I really need to check Land of Dragons. And I don't think my magic's gonna get much better at this point, so... I have Magnera, I have Thundara. It's as good as it's gonna get, probably. I also get to demonstrate, the best way to do mountain climb, or the mountain trail, in my opinion. Died. Alright. If it's not too much, trouble with you guys, I might call this seed before I get to the final gauntlet, and I might just make a save state where, it's this same seed, but we are on the final bosses for another day. Oh. Come on. Man, remember how LOD crashed and there was proof behind it? Yeah, I do. Shit was nuts. And painful. It hurt. That's the danger of doing a boss and enemy. Are you kidding me? Fire was here? Fuck, behind the first... Okay. So yeah, that would be the bonus for doing all 3 of these. And they give it to you after you do the search. So now I have Final Form Fire. So now I could theoretically go to Xigbar. But I won't. Instead, what I'm going to do is pick up these 2 chests right here. Okay. The chest just told me LOD is done now, because there's only 2 in LOD and we just got it. I'm still going to do Mountain Trail just to show you guys, like, the way I like to do it. Because I have a few tricks that I think people probably don't know about. I always found it interesting that the zombies were immune to ice. Well, yeah. It's like the Lancers being immune to lightning because they're lightning rods. The zombies are immune to ice because they're dead. They're cold to the touch, so the cold wouldn't affect them as much. It's little things like that that really give life to some of the lesser enemies. Okay. So now we're gonna go do the mountain climb. And since we have magnet, even if you have base magnet, we can do the climb the way I like to do it, which is safely. So you know how these guys will usually snipe you if you try to climb? Just magnet them. Because even when they die and another wave respawns, the magnet will catch both waves. There's one chest to your immediately to your left here. Then you go over further left, and there's two up here. I like to get both of these because that way I can come back to this chest and let these two... You have to let both of the zombies here respawn. Because if the zombies on that side are spawned, then the assault rider, who would normally spawn in here, will not spawn. But only if those two on the right are already on the field. So, by bringing in two lesser enemies, you avoid having to deal with a big guy. Because no one likes to deal with assault riders in close combat. Alright, now that Land of Dragons is done, we move. We're looking for a blizzard. And a fucking crumb of reflect. Just a single smack roll. A goddamn morsel would be nice. Oh yeah. We also got a hint that Sora's heart has 3 checks a while back. So what that means is that Sora's heart means level ups. This seed, important checks go up to level 50, which means that there are 3 important things on Sora levels. We're at level 24 and we've found 0 of them. It's time to be afraid. Alright. Okay. So we're gonna do final form grinding, and just grinding in general. Because we don't have Promise Charm for the seed, so we don't get the special grind zone. Instead, what we get is final form experience boost. The way experience boost works is if your HP is less than 50%, it will gain the amount of experience you get. Or it will boost the amount of experience you get. Just by beating guys. Okay. So that level up gave us report 8. It tells us that Beast Castle has 1. We got 1. We're done. Okay. Final form is still only at level 3, so we can boost that a little bit. Imagine if all of the 50 checks got put on Sora in 1 seed and 1 on a drive. That would be funny. There is such thing as a site for making what's called a plando, which is just a rando that people have control over where things go. There is a website for it. It's very in-depth. I don't know very much about it. So. I hate these guys, because Reflect would be so nice to have for these guys. And I just don't. Okay. Hit me. Hit me by the door. Oh, where would one find that site? I can link it for you in a second. I just want to get some more grinding done here. Alright, let me... Because I have it bookmarked, so let me pull it up. It is... I thought I had it bookmarked. Huh, guess not. Hold on. Okay. Well, it's in the KH2 Rando Discord, I know that much. I don't know specifically where in that Discord it is, though. Because the organization in there is kind of a mess. But the resources are handy, so I can do some digging and I can, try to look for it. In a bit. I'll probably go up to like level 35. I think that's a safe bet. And then once I'm about at level 35, I can, I think I can safely go fight Zigbar. There we go. Okay. Let's see. Nope, I do not feel like dealing with you. Goodbye. Goodbye, samurai. Oh, we did get Oblivion, huh? Now, what are the odds that Oblivion has once more on it? That would have been funny. I'm glad it doesn't, but that would have been funny. Where else can I go? This is kind of a barren seed. It started off pretty good, but it's decided to just drop off really hard in quality. Alright, I'm gonna let you guys decide. Are there any things that you would like me to try to specifically do to give you tips on? Like, any specific fights? Because there are some that I just wing it, but there are some that I think, I think I have a decent strategy for. Because as of right now, we need a Blizzard to progress at all in Agrabah 2. I would like a Reflect to progress in Olympus, but I could probably do Olympus without it, since I have Magnera. Beast Castle is done completely. Land of Dragons is done completely. Timeless River could still have stuff, but I doubt it. There's only like 2 checks left in that world. Port Royal could have stuff, but I would like Reflect. Space Paranoids could have stuff. We cannot do Spooky Cave right now. I do not have enough torn pages, but if you want, I can look up where there is a torn page and go get it to do Spooky Cave. Because I do have some B skips that I could show off, especially with the Aerial Dodge 3 and Glide level max. Screw it. This is a teaching session. I might as well teach. Torn page. Okay, Beast Castle, Halloween Town. There's a torn page. Okay. So the 2 torn pages we don't have are right before 1000 Heartless or level 39 on Sword. I guess I'm level grinding. I guess I'm continuing to level grind. Oh, God, I hate the fucking samurais. All he needed to do was hit me once and it would have been done. Come on, bud. Get your shit together, please. There we go. Okay. Oh, 7 drive? What do you mean? Do you mean, like, you want me to check if there's something on a drive level 7? Or just see what the thing on drive forms is? I was just amazed. What do you mean? Oh no, that we have 7 drive gauge. Okay. No, we got... You start at 5 in Rando. We got 1 for beating Prison Keeper, and I forget where we got the second one. I think it may have been from Agrabah beating Fire and Blizzard Lord.
Give me strength.
There we go. Okay. Let's see. Welp! Gamers! One of the 3 things was a fucking proof, and the proof came before, the proof came before the torn page, so that's funny as hell. Okay. Well, that's a gold crown. Alright. I'll still keep level grinding to get the torn page, and then we can do Spooky Cave, but, I think it might be about time to show off my Xigbar strat as well. The Xigbar strat that I'm inconsistent at best, but that was taught to me by, one Yamyanity. Because my only strat that I knew of for ages was Berserk Charge Final Form as soon as you get Final Form to at least level 4, and then you just decimate him. But it's Rando, so you are not always going to have Berserk Charge or a Final Form. After all, there's only 2 Berserk Charges in the whole game. So, in case you don't have it, you gotta learn to improvise. Alright. It's at level 39, so that's fine. I just didn't want to hear the beeping anymore. What's your favorite drive form that isn't your favorite? What do you mean, like my second favorite?
Give me strength.
Okay, so full disclosure, I love Final Form. Final Form is probably my favorite aesthetically and just in canon for what it represents. Second favorite, I would have to say Limit Form. Limit Form is just really neat with what it does. It's a cool way to reintroduce old mechanics of Sora's in the new game. And then carrying that on in KH3 through Second Form is really good. And Second Form is one of my favorite transformations in KH3, full stop. Like, visually, I enjoy all of the drive forms. There's not a single one that I hate. Alright, we can leave now. I do Berserk horizontal slash for drain MP with Donald. Yeah. If you have Duck Flare, you can use Duck Flare, even if it's not busted in this version, just to buy time and drain your MP bar and get some free damage out on Xigbar. It's very fair. Alright, Spooky Cave time. Let's do it. First, we have to actually do the balloon minigame that I ditched earlier, which is fine. Balloon minigame is just pop 10 balloons. You're not going to run into too much difficulty with that. It's normal speed, so you don't have to worry about missing inputs or anything. You just want to remember to hit triangle so that you have the higher jumps. The unfortunate thing is if you miss those balloons, you end up having to wait an eternity. And then you might still miss them. Again. There we go. This would be hyper fun if it was super speed. Yeah, but the timer kind of ruins that. When there's a timer on it, making it fast might just screw you up more than it would otherwise. Now, Spooky Cave. Spooky Cave, the trick to it is some people, what they do is that they don't take the party with them. They tell them, hey, stop. They go scout out the chests. They restart the minigame, and then if any of the chests are useful, they go back and pick those up. That is the coward's way. My way is I bring all these clowns with me the entire road trip. I deal with them complaining. I deal with them asking, are we there yet? If they need to use the restroom, that's shame on them. We're fucking going. Instead of saying company halt, you can just run in a circle, and it won't drain your courage meter as fast. Now, right around that turn, you want to do an air dodge and glide, and you skip the bees, but the risk is that your posse gets left along the way. So, like, you get all the way over here, and then you're good. Now, about here, you also want to do that, because there's more bees here. But if you can get past the gate, you're good. Alright. I only tell them to stop if it's about here. For these chests on the side, where there's rock spawn. Calm the fuck down, Tigger. It's fine. Alright, there's... Okay, the bees find a way to be the worst. So because I did that cave, the bees will insist on just continuing to harass me. So what I like to do is I like to work on the caves from the outermost to the innermost. So I hit both the ones on either extreme edge. You get the one directly in the middle. And then once you've gotten all 4 of those chests, you go into either cave that's directly next to this one, because those are the 2 caves that both lead to poo. Wait for that rock to fall, we go, we schmoo. I think... Yeah, there's more bees here. Okay. Alright, come here. Let me pick up the one chest that's left here, and then we're good. You have to have the entire insane clown posse with you, otherwise the game does not let you speak to poo. But if you do, then you're good to go. And you're well on your way to potentially conquering what might be a Starry Hill Seed. Okay. So with that done, I'm going to go ahead and try and tackle Xigbar. My customized fire is on X. I know that looks like circle. Believe me, it's final mix. X and circle are switched. It's going to be a little bit jank. Okay. Now what I do is for Donald and Goofy, I give them potions so that they can heal me if I should fuck up in the Xigbar fight, especially when I don't have a fucking reflect. Because not having reflect is dangerous. But luckily, we do have guard. We at the very least have some form of defense against this clown. What you want to have for Xigbar specifically is a finishing plus. You just have 2 base hits and then 2 finishers. This is how you get him into a kind of loop with this. You also want to... Well, no. If you're doing a Berserk Charge strat, you want to take off the MP haste. Since we're not doing a Berserk Charge strat, I'm going to keep them on. Did you flip X and O, or did you suffer and learn the original controls? I flipped X and O within the emulator itself, so whenever I hit X, the game thinks I'm hitting circle. I'm not going to relearn all of my muscle memory from all of these years. Alright, and then let me look at their weapons. Oh, we have Flare Force instead, and it's a better weapon. Thank you. Okay. Damage control, why not? Okay. Alright, and if you're going to do the final form strat, the important thing, right here, menu to drive, make sure if you have more than one drive form available to you, that it's hovered over final. Because then in the middle of the fight, when you want to hit final form, you'll be able to. Immediately. Because it'll remember that you were on final form when you hit drive. Okay. Now I'm going to keep it on the limit side of things, just so that I have quick access to Duck Flare. Alright. So the first part of Xigbar is your standard. He does a thing. You hit a reaction command once you dodge the thing. Now you can either walk to the left so Goofy's shield takes the hits, or you can reflect or guard in his face and teach him not to fuck with you. Now you hit R1 as soon as possible so you can lock on and get away from his shit. When he's doing that, like, stupid walk where he's taunting you, he's free. For this first phase, he's free. So you take that chance, you hit him, because then he will do a third set of arrows as if he hadn't done that, and then he'll be free again for you to hit. You do two base hits and then 2 finishers. And the point of this is to get him to a point where he will change the room layout. Like that. Yeah, now the fucked up thing with this is that normally you want reflect here, so that you can reflect that back at him, so you don't have to worry about that, that blue arrow at all. So now I have to RC it twice just to make sure it doesn't kill me. This is completely scuffed. This is not how the run should be at all. So, do not take any of this advice with a grain with, Now, what could have happened there, because Rando is improv, if I could have gotten my drive gauge back up to 5, I could have potentially gone final form and still finished him with the final form fire. The point is just to avoid him DMing. If he DMs, you have to sit through that and you have to pray that you live. That's no good. We don't want that. If he's in the middle of a room transition already, then he cannot DM, because his DM is a unique room transition. The good thing is that we have some leeway because we have horizontal slash. So during Duck Flare, we can do 1 hit and then 2 horizontal slashes on him, which gets some extra damage, which helps with living, and with trying to make sure that he is no longer living.
Clever little sneak.
Damn, that was fast.
this is very risky of me to do, because he's far higher up off the ground, which means that this won't loop nearly as well. And he just decided to DM. But the lucky thing about this is that now, if I had lived, the lucky thing about that would have been that Donald and Goofy are not there to be dead and in the way of me running in a circle to avoid that. However, I died. So, that is kind of a moot point.
You really shouldn't have
Alright,
betrayed us.
one more shot.
Gotcha now.
Okay.
Clever little sneak.
There we go. Oh, shit. And Donald being dead ruins my plans again. Fuck it, we're gonna try it. This is not at all ideal for what I wanted to do, at all, but we do what we have to. Yeah. Alright, this is not going to work out, I can already tell. Yeah, no, we're done. Okay. Alright. Chat, I think I might call it here for the teaching experience, because this is not at all an ideal setup to be fighting Xigbar with. Because we don't even have once more. We don't know where a blizzard is for any kind of progress in Agrabah. We don't have any of that. But what I'm going to do is I'm making a save state. So if you guys want to see more of this at some point, you're more than welcome to like ask me on Twitter if I can go from the seed again, if I can start with a new seed. If you want me to do some of the coaching stuff that I was talking about, feel free to go ahead and join my Discord. You can do !Discord to get a link, like so. And please be excited for Sunday. No, not Sunday. Saturday. Please be excited for Saturday, because Saturday I'm doing a stream for March Caprice, which is the big celebratory KH weekend event, where I'm going to be doing another mom speedrun. Any percent. Same as usual, but I'm going to be trying to reclaim my world record. So please look forward to that. I'm very excited to have a rival in Whale. And it's going to be great. It's just a fun day where a bunch of people can celebrate KH together. I'm going to have plenty of friends who are also streaming that day, so if you dip from my stream to go to theirs, that is totally fine. If you want to see more of it, I will be raiding into somebody as soon as we're done here. And as far as raiding, let me see who I can raid right now. KZ is still going, no wonder. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and raid KZ. KZ is doing his KH marathon. He's in the middle of normal KH2 right now. And he has a donation goal where if he hits, I think it's 200 more bucks. He doesn't have it on screen today, but if he hits 800, he'll do a KH2 Rando seed for the hell of it. So yeah, please look forward to Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern, the usual time. Please look forward to Thursday, where I do more Ghost Trick. Hopefully to finish Ghost Trick and then fill that Thursday slot with World Ends With You, so that people can get caught up for the anime and for Neo Twowie, which I will be playing as soon as it drops. Do not worry. Nothing can stop me from playing Neo The World Ends With You on my PS5 on launch day, on stream. Alright. We're gonna go ahead and raid in a few seconds, but thank you all for coming out. This VOD will be on YouTube after this. I'm going to make sure that we do more of these, whether it's specifically with one-on-one, whether it's things that people submit to ask for help with, whatever it is. I want to do more teaching streams. I want to share the knowledge and share the wealth of KH2 Rando with as many people as I can, because it's a fun time and it's gotten me through the hard times of COVID. So, I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.